I really, really love cooking, and I love being on the line, and I love when the restaurant's humming, and I love putting amazing food on a plate. I think actually enjoyment of the craft is the #1 thing I value. My name is Daniel Shemtob. I'm a chef and restaurateur, and we're here at my restaurant Hatch in downtown LA. My favorite thing about Hatch is the way that the restaurant's set up. The kitchen is almost a stage, and the vantage point you get from doing expo in that kitchen is you can see everybody. And if you happen to be sitting in front of me, it's a whole different experience. And if the customer decides that they want to go with a chef tasting or an omakase, I really get to play. And that's where I come up with these amazing dishes that play with color, play with texture, play with flavor. In coming up with the menu for Hatch, I had a somewhat strict rule, which is I wanted to take Japanese traditionalism. I wanted to take ingredients that you would actually find in Japan, and I wanted to kind of flip it on its head and add some California vibes to it. For today's tasting menu, we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna be doing about 5 courses. Pairing the right wine to a good tasting menu is essential. The right wine makes you salivate, makes you want more food, and we're gonna be pairing it with this amazing Prisoner wine. It's got this note of roasted fig, cherry, it's bold, it's got great grapes, and it pairs well with our food. The first course we're doing are my fried oysters with a yuzu koshu aioli and a house pickle. It's served in shell, super beautiful. You get this umami from brightness, brininess, saltiness, fattiness, and I think that's kind of my goal with every dish. I really want to create a lot of umami, and with that fried oyster, it's like that perfect start. It gives you texture, it gives you flavor, and it excites your palate and wants you to go to the next dish. The next course on our menu is our Agedashi tofu. This is one of my favorite dishes because it's so simplistic, yet it's so flavorful. We're gonna take 48-hour shiitake dashi broth. We're gonna fry the tofu in some potato starch, plate it in the broth with some grated daikon that's left in beet juice for sweetness and color. Then you top it with bonito flakes, and it really does create this insane palate excitement. And then we move to the star, our karaage, our black fried chicken. So we take organic Yakitori chicken, super important to have the organic chicken because the flavor is just unmatched. And we brine it with all of these deep flavors for 48 hours. And then we fry it in our special secret flour mix that has squid ink powder. And that creates this black, deep looking fried chicken. What's so amazing about the black karaage is a diner's reaction the first time they see it. Sometimes I get, this is burnt, I don't want it, send it back. But the first bite typically has the same reaction, and it's a sense of wow. And that closes our round of small plates. And now we move to the main event, Yakitori. That to me is what this whole restaurant's about. I picked 4 different sticks that are unique amongst the Yakitori world. The first stick is the most important to me in Yakitori. It's sukune. Sukune means chicken meatball. And that comes with a tare and sous vide egg yolk dip. So you take the meatball and you get in there and you stir it all around. And it's a really fun, traditional, but very Hatch Yakitori. Then we move into our skirt steak with fresh wasabi. Real wasabi is sweet and subtle, and it goes so well with meat. So that one gets piled high right on the skirt steak, and that's a really fun stick. And then you go to our eggplant with miso caramel. This is sweet, salty, and just perfect combination of flavors, and it grills so nicely on the open flame. And we finish it with a classic corn, which is kind of our homage to Southern California. It's done with a yuzu compound butter, which is a little bit different, and our house togarashi and lime. And then we go to dessert, which is our flan with house grilled mochi cakes, yuzu gel, and a little bit of matcha frosting. So it really kind of hybrids American, Mexican, Japanese, and it's that perfect last sweet bite because it's not overly sweet. It's got unique flavor, texture, and temperature, which I think is a nice way to finish out the tasting menu. As a chef, I think the most important thing that I can accomplish is that you tasted things that are in your wheelhouse, things that are outside your wheelhouse, that you enjoyed every part of the meal. And the most important thing we want for our diners is to leave a long-lasting impression. We want you to think about that meal or one of those dishes for many years to come.